Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And today we're going behind the enemy lines, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and bring my good buddy in here, Bass, to talk everything about the Green Bay Packers. Try to get to know them just a little bit more before our Week 6 matchup. Super excited. Let's go and give a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the video, BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sportsbook, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on your following two. Using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. And we also do got as well a graphic here from BetUS that I want to go and show you guys as well. Of course, the Arizona Cardinals are yet underdogs once again. So if you want to get into this action, use promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started here. Let me go and bring my good buddy here, Bass. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, man. Excited for this Week 6 game. We've had some history with the Cardinals, a couple overtime playoff games I don't really want to talk about, but there's some history there. So I think it's going to be a good one. I think the matchup will be nice, and it should be a fun game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about it. I mean, obviously, when you're looking at the North, I never thought it was going to be as competitive as it was, but you are currently tied at the number 3 spot with the Chicago Bears. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're technically fourth, and we're the only division to not have a losing team. So, we're the fourth in the division if you actually list it out as that, and we're a plus 500. We have the most wins in the NFL totally as a division.
Wow.
It is crazy right now, and it's wild. That we're sitting at fourth at 3-2. It's crazy.
That is wild. No, yeah, for us, so we're tied at 2. Well, technically, we actually have the leg up over the 49ers, but we're 2-3 right now with the 49ers
Mhm.
falling behind us, but we got 2 division wins under our belt. So,
Mm.
it's crazy time. I would have never thought it. Usually the NFC West is going to be the team or the division that kind of reigns support, good. But, I don't know. I feel like it's different this time around. But let's get started in this matchup. I think this is a very intriguing matchup here. Obviously, we got Jordan Love missing 2 games. What was his injury? Was it an ankle injury is what he was held out
It
for?
was MCL, left knee MCL. It was
Oh,
a MCL sprain. They said it was between a grade 1 and 2, closer to a 1, so that's why he only missed 2 games there. But he still has the knee brace on. But this week he's off the injury report, so that's good news.
that is good news. Okay. Well, let me just first start off with this. What are your thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals? Just as an overview, I don't expect you to obviously watch Cardinals game, but just as an overview, right? The Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., just your overall thoughts on this team currently right now at the number 2 spot in their division at 2-3. What are your overall thoughts about the Cardinals?
Yeah, man, I feel like they have a lot of talent on offense that I'm a little bit scared of because the Packers' history against running quarterbacks, it's not good. And we have a new defensive coordinator and we have a new defensive scheme, but it seemed like every time in the past decade to 15 years we go against a running quarterback and they just run rampant against our defense. And then you see Kyler Murray last week, 83 yards rushing on 7 attempts. So I'm really worried about that. I loved Marvin Harrison coming out of the draft, so I am praying that Jair Alexander can play in this game, and hopefully we shadow him. Outside of that, Connor, a tough runner. We've struggled a little bit against running backs this season so far. So overall, you guys have some weapons there. And then on the defensive side, Budda Baker kind of flying around. I know you guys still kind of building something over there on defense that not the great against the pass right now. So I'm hoping we can get that going. But overall, you guys have weapons that do scare me. Like Kyler right now scares me a lot for
Okay.
this Packers defense.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. I just love to kind of get a gauge on what the opposing fan base has to feel. Because obviously, when you're covering your Cardinals, you get a lot of Cardinal fans that are either I hate Kyler or I like Kyler. But it's really good
Mm.
to kind of hear on the opposite side that, there's still some fear within. And he's really good. I mean, obviously, when he's doing things with his legs, he's very dangerous. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get started in this game. How do you think this game is going to shake out? Obviously, you guys are currently right now 3-2 in the division where you guys are at in the North. How do you think this game is going to shake out, or what do you think the keys to success for your team to come out with the win against our Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah. So I love that this is in Green Bay because I don't know if I'd be as comfortable picking the Packers. And I'm not a guy that picks the Packers every single week if it wasn't in Green Bay. And I think it comes down to both sides running the football. So
Yeah.
stopping Connor, stopping Kyler Murray, but also feeding Josh Jacobs. You guys are 28th against the run right
Mm.
now. And what the Packers haven't done too well since Jordan Love has returned is just lean on Josh Jacobs a little bit. He's top 5 in rushing yards in the NFL. And you saw week 2 against the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, with Malik Willis at quarterback, they just handed him the ball. And it worked. And I'm not saying that's going to be the case here, but it seems like since Jordan Love has came back, Matt LaFleur's kind of like, oh, well, we can now pass the ball in first down, or we can now do this extra or take a shot on 2nd and 7. They should just lean on Josh Jacobs, considering you guys haven't done a great job against the run. And then on the flip side, like I said, when I was talking about the what I'm scared of the Cardinals is stopping Connor, is stopping Kyler Murray. I think it's going to fall down to the trenches for both teams. Then, of course, getting some turnovers. We're really good at that so far. Xavier McKinney, 5 straight weeks with an interception. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, right. We're second in the NFL in total interceptions, below the Vikings with 9. So it seems like if we can get a lead early, every single game we've got a lead early and just we're able to run the ball, we've won. So it's when we go down, like against the Minnesota Vikings, we're down 14-0, then 21-0, then 28-0, right? Become one-dimensional. You have to air the ball out. I think if we can get an early lead, run the football, create a turnover or 2 during the game, I feel very comfortable.
That's fair. No, here's the thing. The Arizona Cardinals, I think one of the biggest struggles that we've had is consistently scoring points. Now, it's so weird because I think every single game we've had so far, we scored a touchdown on the first drive. Like it's almost poetic at this point. But like after that first drive, it almost kind of seems to fall apart. Now, the Cardinals did a good job against the 49ers, one of our own divisions, to, obviously toe-to-toe, cause some turnovers, and obviously the Cardinals win by 1 point. I agree. I when I hear you talk about your game plan, I feel it very similar too. I think we need to run the ball with James Conner as well, and then of course we got a mobile quarterback here in Kyler Murray that's going to also be able to use his legs. We've said this before, where Kyler Murray, when he uses his legs or actually has more than like 50 rushing yards or even 40. Usually it's a recipe for success for our team. Yeah. If he's trying to be that stand in the pocket type of guy, it's just not usually works out for us. We become one-dimensional. And it's definitely not a good spot to be in. But I think you're correct. If you guys do somehow get the lead and continue to run the ball, that is a really good success for on the Cardinals. I'm looking at your guys' injury report. It seems like you got a lot of questionable people out there right now. Christian Watson, as well as Jair Alexander, are the 2 guys that really stick out to me, and obviously Kenny Clark as well. What are the statuses on those guys right now? Obviously, I know it's Thursday, but like, what is the trend seeming like right now?
So Kenny Clark, he's been on the report. I think it's a toe injury, I believe. He's been on that report for like 3 weeks, and he's played every game. So he's kind of just on there. Like, there's no worry about him. Jair, definitely a worry. Missed the last 2 games with, I believe, a groin injury. He also had quadricep a couple weeks ago. I thought he was going to play last week. Like, he practiced Thursday and Friday, was questionable, and you're like, all right, cool. Luckily, the Rams without Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. So it was like, okay, he's not playing. That's fine. But I really want him back this week. He practiced yesterday. I'm sure he'll practice today and tomorrow. I think he will play. We got Carrington Valentine back last week, so it's another cornerback into the mix. Christian Watson, it looked horrible against the Vikings. That it was a first quarter play where Jordan Love kind of threw what people call a hospital ball, and he got rolled up on and kind of bent backwards. It looked really bad. Yeah. And early reports are like high ankle sprain, and then it came back that it wasn't, and it was just like a basic ankle sprain. He returned to practice yesterday, so that's massive as well. I think Watson may be available, but I'm not like, okay, he's gonna be there. I think they might still hold him out another week. Romeo Doubs, I don't know if you heard that whole story last week, how he skipped practice Thursday and Friday, and then we suspended him for a week, completely out of character. He's back. It seems fine. He's yet to talk to the media, so I don't know. Christian Watson kind of spoke on it yesterday and kind of probably said a little bit too much. It's still an odd situation right now, and I'm hoping it can be in the rearview mirror. But we have so much talent at wide receiver. Even if without Dobbs or Watson, like, I'm still comfortable with our wide receivers. We got Bo Melton, and I was going to ask you and segue into this: is Max Melton playing, and how's he doing?
Max Melton has, since the season has started, he's gotten more and more reps. The way that the Cardinals defense runs, and it's probably going to be the same thing when Darius Robinson, which we haven't seen him, our rookie, he's probably going to play like 40, even if it's limited, like, it's still going to like average between like 35 to like 60. Like, none of these defensive linemen that we have a 90% snap share. Like, that's just the way our defense runs. We like to kind of throw people in there, by committee. But with Max Melton, we've seen him the most last week, and it might be because Garrett Williams was ruled out, which is arguably probably one of our best cornerbacks. And
Mhm.
he's still young out of Syracuse that we ended up drafting last year. So we're seeing a good dosage of Max Melton. He hasn't made any big impactful plays, and I mean like interceptions or crazy amount of tackles. But I mean, he's good. I mean, I don't mind him. I think obviously progression is the key here for the Arizona Cardinals just this year in general. We're as a defense, we're leaning very, very heavily on Sean Murphy Bunting, which is our
Mhm.
veteran acquisition, and he's okay. I mean, but like because he's a veteran, because we're paying him, I think that's why he's getting the grip of that amount of snap share. But I
Sure.
think Max Melton eventually is going to be that outside corner for the Cardinals to be 80, 90%. But right now he's averaging about 40 to maybe 45, maybe 50% of snap
Okay,
share.
because Bo gets less than that because we just have like 5, 6 wide receivers, but I'm sure like they're gonna have a matchup against each other in this game. I'm sure like that's gonna happen at some
Yeah.
point, like whether the coaches want it to or just to see what happens. That would be cool to see.
No, absolutely. You also do got is it Ditavion Wicks, right? I mean, he's a really
Yeah,
good wide receiver
Dontavian
too.
Wicks. Yeah, so he's a receiver that he's my favorite on the team. He's my favorite receiver in the NFL, and I've been extremely, I guess, biased from this entire offseason, like hyping him up, and he's had such a bad drop problem to start the season. But the thing is, he's our most targeted wide receiver. And what does that say? The dude simply gets open.
Yeah.
So when you're more targeted than the 3 receivers that are technically above you on the depth chart, that says something. So there's been a couple issues with him, whether it be drops or depth in terms of his routes, Jordan Love being off page. They have to keep at it because he is a very good wide receiver if he gets on that same page. So again, a lot of wide receiver depth, but he's definitely one of my favorites on the team.
So I got a two-parter question for you. Obviously you guys are, getting accustomed to a world without Aaron Jones. He's now with your division rival, with the Vikings. Josh Jacobs has come in right now. So I guess a two-parter. How do you feel about Aaron Jones currently right now? Does it still hurt seeing him in the purple? And how do you feel about Josh Jacobs' production so far this year?
Yeah, it's always gonna hurt. I mean, the dude was, he was the definition of a Green Bay Packer. I think he has a Packers logo tattooed on his leg and stuff, so he's always gonna have that.
Wow.
Super humble, just like always for the team. Took like 1 or 2 pay cuts before the Packers tried to get him to take another pay cut. So I understand what he did. I'm not mad at him. It does sting that he's with
Yeah.
the Minnesota Vikings, right? Him returning against us 2 weeks ago, not scoring, but doing really well. But it stings a little less when you have someone like Josh Jacobs. And
Yeah.
if we were struggling very heavily running the football right now, it would hurt way, way worse. So it sucks to see that. But I understand why the Packers did it. He was due a lot of money. He's an aging running back. You hit that mark of like 29 years old, and it's like, you don't really know what's going to happen with a running back. And the Packers do a good job of kind of just moving on and just getting the next 26-year-old running back in the building, and then developing other guys such as Emmanuel Wilson, who's been our number 2, drafting Marshawn Lloyd, who's been on IR, AJ Dillon's on IR as well. But we're developing enough at running back where I'm comfortable. But yeah, it definitely stings to see Aaron Jones in the Vikings uniform.
I
It
bet.
sucks.
Well, not just running backs you guys develop. You guys just seem to hit quarterbacks every freaking time. Let's talk about Jordan Love, shall we? Obviously, he
Yeah,
missed 2 games. How do you feel about him coming back from the injury? I was looking at his stats. Is that 8 touchdowns to 5 interceptions? Are we talking about a guy that
yeah.
just loves to throw the ball down the field and kind of pray, or is you think something's lingering still? What do you think is happening?
See, it's crazy because like we talk about quarterbacks in the Green Bay Packers, and this year I'm seeing more Brett Favre in him than I ever have, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because he isn't necessarily comfortable on his knee yet, and he's kind of like, okay, I can't extend this play. Let me just throw it to my read, right? Let me throw it up. Let me get a 1v1 matchup and whatnot. I don't know if you saw last week the deep Jaden Reed catch on the second drive. It was like triple coverage. When that ball was in the air, you're like, what are you doing? And somehow
Mhm.
Reed comes down with it. So it's like, okay, you like it, but and then he does things like, I don't know if you saw the interception in the end zone where he's falling backwards trying to get rid of the safety, and he's like completely midair and just like tosses the ball up for a pick six. I'm like, what are you like? That looked like a Will Levis play out there. I was like, what are you doing out there? So
Yeah.
there's times I'm questioning his decision making right now, but I think it stems to his knee, and I think he's not as comfortable on it as obviously that he's used to, but it's getting better. And I see the progression as the game goes on through the Vikings game, through the Rams game. As the game goes on, he gets better and better, and it seems to be more comfortable on that knee. A big telltale sign of this was in the fourth quarter against the Rams. It was 3rd and 12, and he scrambles right, outruns Braden Fisk, cuts up the right sideline, has to make one man miss and dive for a first down, hitting that knee into the ground. he gets right up and signals for a first down. So you can see in that moment, you're like,
Right.
okay, he's feeling comfortable on this knee again. And I think when he comes to 100% on that knee, you're going to see the decision making also follow because he can step into his throws more. He can extend plays, which he's very good at doing. He can throw more off platform, which he's also very good at doing. So I think right now with the knee, it's just one of those things that he's kind of rushed through his process of being a quarterback from a snap to snap basis. And he's kind of like, okay, I can't do anything else. Here we go, throw it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I see from him. But I think it's going to 100% continue to get better and they're going to mesh better. Similar to last year. You know, we're in a
Right.
similar spot in October where everyone's calling for the backup quarterback and hey, he's not on the same page as these wide receivers. And there was a lot of drops as well. We were in a worse spot last year and it got a lot better. And I think it's going to continue to. You got to realize this guy has only played 3 games compared to most quarterbacks that have played 5. So
Right.
it's going to continue. And I'm not worried about him at all.
Okay. Currently right now, your tight ends are Kraft.
Yes.
It is the other guy, is it Musgrave? He's already ruled out?
Yes.
Is that correct?
So he's not ruled out, but here's the thing. He was questionable last week and was active in the game, didn't play an offensive snap. It
Hmm.
was wild. And here's another thing with him. He's kind of been a very big disappointment to start the season. So when you go into 2024 after seeing 2023, you're like, oh, this is a two-headed monster in the tight end room. Like, who is tight end 1? We don't need a tight end 1. Tucker Kraft has been by far the tight end 1, and he's not looking back. This guy has been absolutely insane, and I'm completely comfortable with him getting 100% of the snaps if that means Musgrave gets none. Honestly, at this point, just because Kraft has been that good, and Musgrave he's been hurt. And then
Yeah.
I saw like right before I joined the show, we signed, I think it's John Fitzpatrick from the Falcons or something. So that kind of signals that maybe Musgrave still isn't ready. We also have Ben Sims, but the main guy you're worried about is definitely Tucker Kraft.
Kraft. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Last question for you. Obviously,
Yeah.
Jair Alexander is going to be a big implication if he does play or he doesn't. Do you have faith in your cornerbacks or I guess your secondary to hold down for example, a Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because I know there's some people that really don't know Michael Wilson very much, which he's a
Yeah.
really good, talented wide receiver. The thing with the Cardinals, I want to just put this out real quick. We're not 100%. Like we're still a little clunky on offense. That's why I said like we're scoring on the first drive, but it kind of falls apart. We need to get better. We need to fine tune. But like our wide receiving core, we're getting Zay Jones back, and then our tight end Trey McBride. Do you have confidence in your secondary to be able to hold all the weapons that we have?
Yeah, so I actually do know the Arizona weapons a decent bit because I have both Greg Dortch and Trey McBride on some of my
Nice,
fantasy teams.
nice.
So, and I wanted Marvin, but didn't work out that way. I have confidence in the safeties,
Okay.
Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, if they play him there. So, like, although the corners may get beat from time to time, which they do, I have comfortability in the back end of, okay, if there's going to be a deep shot, I know Xavier McKinney is going to be there, like 100%. This guy has more interceptions than receptions allowed. I think he has 5 interceptions and 3 receptions allowed. He's allowed a 0.0 pass rating, or it's like 3.2. The next best safety is like 48 pass rating allowed. So it's not even close. Like this guy right now, in my opinion, is running for like defensive player of the year as a safety. It's insane. Is he going to keep it up? Maybe not. Last week, we saw a lot of our rookie, 4th round rookie, Evan Williams. He started at safety next to X and he looked terrific. That allowed us to move Javon Bullard into the slot, another 2nd round rookie. It's because we didn't have Jair. So then we put Nixon on the boundary. But here's the thing. Our boundary corners outside of Jair have been shaky at best so far. Eric Stokes, past 2 weeks has been terrible in my opinion. Carrington Valentine had a good game last week, so he's a nice physical corner you have. But if we don't have Jair, yes, I'm 100% concerned about the Arizona Cardinals kind of picking on these cornerbacks, whether that be Keyshawn Nixon on the outside, Javon Bullard in the slot, Eric Stokes on the outside. So I'm really hoping we have Jair and he can at least follow Marvin Harrison. And I think the other guys should be able to contain, Wilson and Dortch as well.
Okay. Perfect. All right. I always ask this first. Do you like doing predictions? I know some people don't.
So on the round table, I do because that's what we do. But normally I am not a prediction guy. But
Okay.
I'll give you my roundtable prediction if you'd
Love
like
it.
it. Okay. I got Green Bay 27-17.
Okay.
If it was not in Green Bay, I think you guys would either win, it would be a lot closer.
Okay. Perfect. What's the weather going to be like over there before I let you go?
So I saw that last night. I didn't check it today so far, but it said 53 with a chance of rain. So I could check real quick, just see if that's updated because I have it right up on my phone for Green Bay here.
Y-
Let's see what it is. But
Yeah, because I know in Arizona or Phoenix, like if it says it's one thing, it's usually going to happen. But I know there's a lot of places that have completely bipolar weather.
yeah, no, this is pretty straightforward, and it still says 53 with 56% chance, not even a quarter inch of rain. So it'll be like overcast, maybe some sprinkle of rain here and there, but be fine. Be a nice day in Lambeau.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Bass. Thank you so very much for stopping in. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so very much. We will be having his channel linked in the description below. Go and show him some love. He does exactly what I do, but obviously first respect the team, the Green Bay Packers. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close up shop. Appreciate y'all for tuning in again. Again, another huge shout out here to BetUS, sponsors of the Arizona Sports Fan here on YouTube. All the information will be in the description as well. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.